you're in sales, you're gonna get objections. Doesn't matter how good your presentation is. Doesn't matter how well you practice the script. It doesn't matter how well you articulate yourself. The key in getting those contracts signed is how you handle those objections when they come. In this video, I'm gonna go over the 7 steps that I use to handle every objection and get those contracts signed. Let's get it. All right, before we get into the 7 steps, let's get into the fact that as a salesperson, and salespeople, you're selling yourself every day, even if you're not in a position of sales for your career. You're constantly selling yourself to people. But specifically as a salesperson, and I'm saying this, I'm underlining it, I'm highlighting it, I'm bolding it. Anticipate the objections. I have no idea why us salespeople think that we're not going to get objections. And when you're sitting across the table from a prospect that you're trying to turn a client, we don't know which objections are coming. Look, I'm in real estate sales, and I know which objections are coming. They're coming all the time. It's the same ones. It's either going to be about price, it's going to be about commission, or it's going to be something about something why that they can't get a contract signed today, like I got to talk to my significant other, right? Well, I know those are the objections, so why on earth don't I have a little tool belt to handle these objections? In this video, you're going to get that, okay? So first, we have to understand that a prospect's objections is a good thing. Because what objections really are, when you take them to its root, there are fears of the person. What they're telling you is, hey, I kind of like what you're saying. You almost have me convinced, but the objection. Objections are good. If they have no objections, that is not good, because your objection handling skills is going to get you closer to the finish line. If you anticipate those objections and you know how to handle them, you're kind of like waiting for it and almost upset that you didn't get the objection. So what is the fear? The prospect at this point is telling you, okay, let's go in their psyche. They're saying, I see that I'm at point A. Rick, I want to move to point B. I want to meet you at point B. I want to do this deal with you. But for me to get from point A to point B, in between are my fears, hidden in objections. So if they can communicate their fears, you can use your art of persuasion to help them move to a place, in this example, point B, that is better for them. You must feel that if they sign that contract for you, with you rather, they are in a place that is better for them. Okay, very important. So we also have to understand, okay, now that we know that it's coming from objections are coming from fear, some savvy people, prospects that we're trying to turn into clients, some savvy prospects actually use these negotiation tactics hidden behind objections. So their objections might look a little different. They might say, hey, Rick, I really like what you have to say, but the realtor that came in before you had a lot less fee in commission. Okay, at this point, I know they want to use me. They're leveraging a false objection to get me to lower my fee. So I got to use my objection handling techniques to make sure that I get my fee. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to differentiate when somebody objects to you. Is this a negotiating tactic? Is this a savvy little prospect? I got you, bro. You want to play this game? Okay, let's play this game. Or is it someone that is really in a position of fear that you got to walk them through? Usually it's the latter. Usually they're afraid. But you got to distinguish. You have to anticipate. In a second, we're going to go over the 7 steps. Before I do, I have no clue why realtors, salespeople get so emotional on objections, so offended. When a prospect says to you, let's say you're a realtor trying to sell their house, and they go to you, hey, Rick, your commissions are too high. And you as a realtor respond, get all butthurt and emotional, and you're like, I'm not a discount broker. I am a high value broker. Take it or leave it. I don't cut commission. Like, why are you getting so emotional for, son? What's wrong with you? You don't know how to play this game? You don't have the swag to sell? Come on, man. Let's go. Let's play the game. Get in it. Tag. You're in. Can't get emotional. You got to be calm. Like Bruce Lee says, you got to be like water. Whatever they say, just mold to it. It's a game. You're the pro. You've done this before. They don't sell their house every day. But you know that this is just part of the process. So when it comes, be like, yeah, I'm ready. Instead of being all emotional about it. Mr. Realtor, I think you're pricing the house too low. The other people that came through this house priced it $100,000 higher than you. The emotional realtor will say, oh, okay, so if you want to just have your house stale and on the market, go ahead. Are you the realtor or am I? I do this every single day. I know it sounds funny. That's what realtors do. So my advice to you is don't get emotional. The last point before we get into the actual steps, you must assess the person's personality type. The prospect's personality type is very important when handling objections. I want you to get familiar. There's tons of personality tests out there, but the one that I use very effectively is the DISC personality test. DISC. You can Google it. The gist of it is the personality types fall into 4 different sectors, and according to this theory. They're either a D, an I, an S, or a C. Different video for a different day. Hit me a like, follow the channel, and I will make sure you learn all about DISC. But the reason why I want to assess what personality type they are is because that's going to differentiate my objection techniques to that particular personality type. Yeah, get it? Got it? Good. All right, so let's get into it. What we're going to do now is we're going to go over 7 steps, and then I'm going to put those 7 steps into an example. Cool? So let's go. And you want to stick around for that example, real life on how I do this. So step 1, when somebody objects, you listen. It's very simple. You take your time and you listen with your heart. You try to understand where they're coming from. You listen. Don't interrupt. Listen. Step 2. Make sure you know make sure that they know that you listened. So step 2 is repeat. Repeat. Hey, Mr. Prospect, let me get this right. You are feeling blank. Then that's communication, right? Then the prospect feels and knows that you understand them. Step number 3, you cushion. You make that prospect feel like $1 million. And you tell them something like, hey, Mr. Prospect, I not only understand what you're saying, you're not the only one that had this concern in the past. It's actually a very good concern. Remember in class when you were scared to put up your hand and you wanted to ask a question and you're like, is this going to be a silly question? You're probably in elementary school and you just didn't want to put up your hand because you were embarrassed. And then you finally mustered up enough courage to lift your hand and the teacher says, hey, what's your question? And you ask it. And then the teacher says, hey, you know what? That's a good question. And you feel like, yeah, it's a good question, right? So that's what cushioning does to your prospect. You put them at ease. Okay? Step number 4 is you simply isolate. You isolate the objection. And when we do the example, I'm going to show you how to do this. I will repeat the steps and we'll go through it step by step once I insert the objection. Step number 5, pretty simple. You answer the objection. After you isolate it, you answer it. Step number 6, after you answer it, you check back in. Is that okay? Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. And then step number 7, you redirect to the sales process. You redirect to the sales process. Now that they're good, say, okay, this is this contract, sign here, sign there, sign here. Okay, so when it comes to real estate, my favorite topic, and if you're in real estate sales, you're going to really identify with this. But if you're in sales in general, and if you're commission-based sales, you're going to identify with this as well. You can also use this in a price objection, but today I'm going to use a commission example rather, because I get a lot of these questions. Okay, so I'm at a listing appointment. I dazzle them with my marketing. We agree on price. Now comes commission. Okay, and you want to make sure that during your listing presentation, you isolate every section of your presentation, your marketing, your price, and your commission. And after every section, you kill any objections that would come your way. Another video, like, subscribe, I will share it with you. But in this video, we get to the commission section and your prospect, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, they say, Rick, we like what you're doing. We agree with your price. We like your marketing, but your commission is too high. That's the objection. So I'm going to follow the steps. Step 1 was listen. So I'm going to make sure I listen. Step 2 was repeat. Remember that? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I get it that you think that my commission is too high. All right? I understand. And I know there's a lot of different salespeople offering different sales commissions. Okay, that's step 2. I repeated. Step 3, I'm going to cushion. I'm going to cushion. I'm going to make them feel good about it. To be quite honest, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you weren't the only one in my life, because I sell a lot of houses. I've been in a lot of listings that have, wanted a better commission rate. So don't feel bad about that. I heard that before. I cushioned. Okay? That doesn't mean I'm going to submit to the request. I'm not going to be submissive to the request and agree. But I just say, I get it. You're not the only one. And there's a method to that madness, because after I convince them to give my rate, they'll be like, hey, I guess everybody else did that. So step 3 was cushion. Let's go to step 4 in this example, which is isolate. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, besides commission, is there anything else stopping us from moving forward today and getting your house listed for sale? I do this because I'm kind of getting closer to the sales contract getting signed, the listing agreement getting signed. You get it? So I want at this point for them to bring all their objections. Take your time, think about it. They're going to look at each other. Say, actually, you know what? We like everything else, Rick. So commission. I isolated the contract being signed just for me to handle commissions. Okay? So that was step 4. I isolated. Now, you want to repeat it. Other than commission, if we can agree on commission today, that's a better way to say it. If we can agree on commission right now, are you willing to go ahead and proceed? I want all the objections out. So this is the second time I asked them, give me all objections. At this point, they're either 90% of the time, they're going to say, yeah, we can proceed. 10% of the time, they're going to be like, oh, no, we're not going to, it doesn't even matter. You could give us 0% and we're not ready to sell today. At that point, I'm out. I'm walking away because there's no point for me to go through this song and dance and they're not ready to sell. Okay. And I don't want to give them the information of what my commissions can be. I would walk away like, hey, Mr. and Miss Seller, I get it. When you guys are ready, more motivated to sell, at that point, I'll come back in and don't worry, we'll figure out commission. Don't worry, we'll figure out commission. I never said I'll give them a deal. I said, don't worry, we'll figure out commission. So, but let's say I've isolated and they say, okay, it's only the commission and they're ready to move on after that. So number 5, I'm going to answer the objection. This is where the disc personality comes in. All right. I have to assess if there's 2 of them, let's say husband and wife, I have to assess who the decision maker is. That's number 1. Okay. And let's say it's the wife. I've identified it's the wife that's the decision maker. Then I have to assess what's the personality type. So let's say the wife is a high D personality. So a high D personality, picture a CEO type, no bullshit. They're nice, but they don't have time for fluff. They want to get right to the point. Okay? So I will handle that person's objection this way. Mrs. Seller, okay, I understand that you think the commission is too high. You saw the value that I bring to the table. But let's not talk about that because remember, they're a D personality type. Let's not talk about that. If I can't fight for the commission and the money that I use to put food on my family's table, how am I going to fight for you to get you the highest price possible and negotiate the best terms when we go ahead and sell this house? So if you're dealing with weak negotiators that are willing to give their own money away, go ahead. Because not only am I going to charge you a fair commission, I'm going to make sure that you are going to get the best price possible and all the terms that you desire. That's how I deal with a D personality type. Now, if I said that same thing to, let's say, an S or C personality type, I'm going to lose the deal. Direct, she's going to respect me that I'm confident and I can answer her directly. Okay? So let's just give you, this is not a video on handling different personality types, but I'll give you one more. For, let's say, an S or C personality type, this is someone that needs options. Okay? They need to study. So you need to have options. How I would handle that objection. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I understand that commission is a thing. I actually have different options for you guys, different commission packages, and I slide over different paperwork. Here's option A, here's option B, here's option C. 2 options are enough, A and B. And then I'm going to make option A so stacked, it might be including a lot of videography, staging, open houses, whatever, okay? Different video for a different day. And option B is a little bit less commission, but I simply just put on MLS, for example. Let them decide. Because you're not going to win this one with an SC personality type. They have to mull it over and say, oh, okay, I like this, I like that. They're very analytical. Oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. Rick, do you think you can add this and add that? I'm like, hey, guys, I can add everything. Let's pick package A. Let's pick package A. And if it doesn't work, you don't get the price you like, let's talk. Okay, Rick. So those are 2 different ways that I answer the objection depending on their personality type. Now, step 6, I check back in. Hey guys, did that work? Did that work for you? You guys are excited, right? It makes sense. So we agreed on the marketing, we agreed on the price of the home, we picked the commission package, we understand why we're going to do it. At the end of the day, guys, I don't get paid anything if this house doesn't sell, so I get paid my commission on results. You still have to get agreement of purchase and sale, where if you don't like what you see, we can discuss. commission. And they never do. Because if you're a pro and you watch his channel, you're going to get the house sold at the desired price. So I check back. Number 7, I redirect into the sales process. All right, Mr. and Miss Seller, this is exactly what we decided. Bring out the contract, or if it's digital, right? This is exactly the price we agreed on. This is the commission we agreed on. This is the time that the house is going to go on the market. This is the length of time it's going to go on the market. So we're starting next week. Here's all the stuff I'm going to do. Initial that, sign here, sign there. Boom. That's how you handle objections. You can do that with price. You can do that, hey, my significant other isn't here. I could have talk to them. Anticipate these objections. If you're in sales, you're going to get commission objections. You're going to get price objections. You have to anticipate them. You have to know that they're coming. You have to be the pro. Follow these 7 steps, and you too will get more contracts signed. Take care. See you on the next one.